Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.
Hi, folks. Before I even introduce this podcast, we have a special guest who's going to do it better than I ever could. Here you go, buddy. I'm not going to tell you anyone who you are yet. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on. Welcome into the Mr. Curiosity podcast. How we doing, Joe?
That was great.
Now, the YouTube people can see this. It's being recorded with the phone in my hand and you out of the speaker. So we know it's low quality, but that's the whole point. It's real, right, Chris?
Low quality, but real. You got to adapt on the fly, and that's what we do here.
So this is
low quality but real. That's our slogan.
This is former rock star Chris Keating, WNEP TV reporter, and Gojo. What do we call you? Oh, I'm at a loss for words.
Sidekick?
Sidekick. I didn't want to say that.
I know you didn't.
Did you say former rock star? Why am I no longer a rock star?
Because you're not at WNEP anymore. You're just a regular
Sorry,
person.
Chris.
Sorry,
you left.
Chris. All right, I'm here with John Meyer, Mindy Ramsey, and Shawn Dunn. So, Chris, we got to catch up on your life quickly here. So, you left WNEP when?
December of 2023. So this past December.
Ooh, so already now we're on a quarter of the year has passed. And how's life now where, in Johnstown?
I'm in Johnstown, yeah, with my girlfriend out here. She works for another television station, actually the one John Meyer used to work for, WJAC.
Okay.
So out here in Johnstown, life's going good, man. We're enjoying myself, kind of moving in, adapting to living with your partner, you know, and it's been great. She's great. She goes to bed early, so.
Are you trying to say that gives you some free time at night to do whatever you want, watch TV, go to the bar?
Oh yeah, I can do whatever I want. I have free reign, but I have to clean up, because if I don't clean up, then I'll be in big trouble.
I'm glad to hear that, because that's as a mother, wife myself, who goes to bed early. I get very annoyed if things are messy after I go to bed.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, are you anti-TV now? Because what if this girl of yours says, "Hey, I can get you in at my TV station anytime you want, buddy," or it's not your kind of thing anymore?
I told her the other day, if I was to work in television ever again, the only station I'd ever, if I was physically on TV, would only be WNEP.
You hear that?
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, we can
be WNEP. It's the only place I would ever work in television.
We can say that we miss you a lot, and we would always welcome you back with open arms.
Yeah, and this is going to be the first Gojo in how long without Chris Keating happening this summer. Come on, man.
Are you going to cry?
No, but maybe a special appearance or something. Who knows? We need to see you in the chicken outfit.
How about you tell your people to
the chicken outfit.
All right.
Didn't he end up in a pool with the chicken outfit?
Oh, the chicken outfit.
That was awesome.
We're going to do Brown Bag Monday. This is where people email questions to us. It's kind of like Talkback 16. They get to voice their opinions, and we're going to have you answer the first question. Are you ready?
Power of the people. Let's do it.
So, folks, keep the questions coming. It's brownbag@WNEP.com. Brownbag, one word, @WNEP.com. The most insightful and weirder, the better, right? That's how it goes. All right, Mindy, you're going to pick them a question? This is it.
I was wondering how you were going to do that with only two hands.
It could be very uncomfortable for you, Chris, so I don't know.
He doesn't get a bell either.
Comfortability is the best comfortability. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Only Chris has the answer to this.
Oh, Chris. All right, we're gonna put this on you. This is from one of our regular contributors, Jim Legg. He said he would be the grill chef and bring the cicadas. If you have any interest, he'd probably need a food prep assistant. And just throwing the idea, wouldn't it be great to have an all cicada menu? He's a good griller. So, Chris, would you be willing to eat cicadas now that we have a bunch of 13-year and 17-year cicadas
Very good.
coming out?
The broods are coming out this summer. And, Chris,
I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I come from a food background, and it's actually not the first time I've ever eaten bugs. So
it's not. Why?
Chris has eaten bugs?
I forget. My dad traveled somewhere because he's in the culinary industry, and he traveled somewhere and brought home, I forget which country it was from, but they you can go on the side of the street and they sell in little cardboard boxes flavored bugs that have been fried or something like that. He brought them home.
Look at Mindy's face. You can't see her face, but she's got the jaw drop.
Yeah. So yeah, we could crush this. If I can bring my dad on board, cicada menu, we could open a whole restaurant up. It'd be the biggest thing in NEPA.
I think those cicadas are in Georgia too. So that's where he's from. That's where the restaurant is.
All right. Well,
give a little southern flair to him, you know.
Well, Chris, we had enough of you. It's time to go. We're going to continue on with the podcast. We wish you well in your new endeavors, whatever they are going to be. We appreciate you. We miss you. And keep the contacts coming. All right, buddy?
I miss you guys, too. I love you guys. Give me a call. Maybe we can set something up for Gojo this summer. I'd love to
that'd be awesome.
All right. I'll see you, buddy.
All right.
Bye, Chris.
Peace, love, and
Bye.
happiness.
Bye, y'all.
So that is a good question, though. So what do we all want to think about the insect thing?
I want to hear from Shawn. Shawn, would you eat a cicada?
You might think, based on my answer to the
toilet?
the toilet question last time, that I would be against it. I'm all for it. I would eat cicadas however you prepare them.
Oh, however, I was going to say, it's all about the preparation.
It is about the preparation. And Mindy would sleep in a porta potty for $2,500.
Me too. I'm going to match her.
So, Mindy, what's it going to take to eat some cicadas?
Well, I've heard they're a great source of protein. So, and I really do think traveling forward in our climate changing world,
you are 100% correct.
We need to find more sources of protein.
It's going to happen. I think that the thing is that here's what I can't get by, because I say this to my wife all the time, who loves shrimp, who loves lobster. When you look at that thing on your plate, it's a large arthropod. It's the same as a cicada. It's the same as a beetle. And that's considered so delicious and even esoteric and highbrow. But yet, bugs are looked down on. They're just small versions of the same thing.
Maybe they're too crunchy.
I think that's what it is. If I had a cicada burger, they'd take the protein in the gut section of that thing, ground it up into a patty. I'd eat anything.
You probably would.
I'd even eat Mindy if that were the case.
If we were like the Donner Party. And
they ground you up into a patty, I'd be like, give me this.
You know, if you're hungry, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So, I think it's the presentation. Don't you guys with the...
Yeah, I agree.
So this is from Jim Legg, as I said.
Yeah.
And he was actually writing this. He says the Friday before Memorial Day, he is willing to come in and grill cicadas. So we have to think about that offer.
This podcast comes out that week he's talking about. So that... I'm sorry, Memorial.
Yeah, Memorial Day,
1st of May.
The end of May.
All right, so we have 3-4 weeks to plan this. I don't know. We'll see what management
I don't
thinks.
know.
What do you mean? This
John,
could be a great broadcast.
Yes, this could be groundbreaking.
This really
I
could.
thought this was just some random question on the podcast. Now I'm actually going to have to eat bugs.
Those big beady red eyes looking at you. Come on.
That brood's not coming out here, though. We'd have trouble getting some cicadas.
No, we could find him.
Last week I was making scrambled eggs. And it's we're all culturally brainwashed. I opened the egg up and look at this mucusy gook coming out, and I'm like, this is gross.
Yet we think it's
To
so
eat
good
the
to cook that.
unfertilized ovum of another creature is gross and disgusting, but you've just been brought up thinking eggs are normal, so they're normal. And they're not.
Good point.
True.
There you go.
Never mind the lactose of another creature, right?
I love milk.
So did that count as Mindy's question?
Yeah, that was my
Or does she get to
question.
pick
Yeah.
again?
Oh, no.
You get to pick now.
All right, that was
All
Chris's
right.
question,
Yeah.
but anyway.
That way I get out
I'm
of
gonna
having
dig a
to
little
read
deeper.
another
They're
one.
getting a little slim in there, so we got to start
dropped
getting new
it
questions
skinny.
in, people. Come on, brownbag at WNEP.com. Here we go.
All right. I'd like to know why Mindy calls Joe Milo. Twyla from Penns Creek.
That's an oldie, though, Mindy.
Twyla,
It seems
come on. Where have you
get
been?
with the program. Mindy, do you want to answer that?
I feel like maybe Shawn should answer that.
What was the question?
Shawn
I
doesn't
wasn't paying
remember.
attention.
Shawn doesn't remember.
Shawn,
So-
why does Mindy call Joe Milo?
It's his middle name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's weird about this, both my parents are deceased, and I never asked them this. And you get these things a lot of times now when you're older. So my grandfather was Milo. My father was Milo. I have an older brother, the first-born male in the family. He's not Milo. He's Gary John. Here comes me, the last of the first three kids, and why did they stick that in my middle name? Why,
They realized they dropped the ball with it.
Yeah, oops, we forgot.
and I
No,
get-
that
I-
is interesting.
Yeah, and why didn't they make it the first name? I think I don't like how some parents put their bad names on their offspring just for tradition's sake. I hate when people do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, because names come and go. And I think in the 60s, when I was born, Milo wasn't a good name. It was considered old and, bizarre. So they probably thought, let's hide that in the middle, which I respect, Because if there's a Mortimer 1, Mortimer 2, Mortimer 3 out there, stop it already, okay? Mortimer's a bad name. And
Morty is a good name.
And Milo's kind of a bad name, but now it's coming back.
It is.
Yeah, but at the time, so they buried it in the middle, and that's why Mindy calls me Milo, because it's kind of funny, isn't it?
Because I like to make fun of you.
Yeah, but why is Milo funny? What if my middle name were John?
Then it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, so you think Milo is funny.
I do.
All right, there you go. That's the answer to the Milo.
Was it me?
You're up, Shawn.
Sean, what's your middle name?
Patrick.
Oh, see, that's not funny.
Patrick.
Patrick, he doesn't look
And
like
it is
a
not a family name.
Sean's a good example. Your father definitely wasn't Sean. Your grandfather wasn't Sean.
My father was John, so rather than me being like John Jr., people calling me Junior, they went with Shawn, which is the same thing.
Oh, because it sounds like John?
It's the
Equivalent.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The Gaelic
I
equivalent
did not
of
know
John.
that. I never knew that. Now, do you have a? Let's bring this up now. Does everyone have a bad family name that they didn't go with? Do you know your grandfather's first name and great grandfather's first name?
Cyril.
Cyril. That
Cyril.
fits.
That would have
My
been bad.
grandfather and his father were Cyrils.
See,
but
they
they're-
knew
but
enough to drop it.
Of all my father and his brothers, there are no Cyrils.
That's what I mean. They're smart enough to drop it. Things have a lifespan.
I kind of like
You
as a
would be a
kid.
good
As a kid, I'll have to admit, I was kind of like, Cyril's not terrible.
No, you'd be made fun of. Nothing that sticks you out is going to be attacked. Young boys are horrible.
It's true.
Cyril.
Cy.
Cyril struck out today again at the plate.
I'd go by Cy. All right, here we go.
Cyril's out there. There's nothing wrong with the name. I'm just saying. It's not
Yes.
as popular as it used to be.
Wait, is this
Same
Uh-oh.
question?
maybe? I heard Mindy is a go slow in the passing lane driver.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that
we
got
already
thrown
had that,
back
didn't
in
we?
there.
Oh,
Or maybe
yeah.
you were noticed multiple times.
No.
Shawn, I think you got to pick again.
I think you got to pick again, yeah.
Mindy, so you're going to put that to rest for sure. You're not a go slow in the
No,
passing.
that
Oh.
is one of my
Sorry.
biggest pet peeves on this
It
planet.
just lives on.
Oh, no, because the question last week was why do people have the same dumb face?
But I think a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was
There
that
was
was in response
definitely-
to another discussion.
Oh,
about
okay,
this.
all
Yeah.
right. But she is not.
Thank you
She
for
is officially not a
Thank
go
you for
slow.
saving me. No, I pass in the passing lane as you're supposed to, and if I'm not passing, then I'm in the right lane.
That happened to me this morning. It's so annoying. Who are these people?
I know. There's,
How do you not
Shawn's
know?
really
Oh,
contemplating
yes.
this one.
I'm stalling for Shawn. All right, here we
No,
go.
I'm good. I don't think it's not terrible.
Where's the
I don't-
bell?
I'm just trying to think. I haven't noticed this myself, but maybe it's a thing.
Here we go.
This is from Kim from Covington Township.
Kimmy, baby.
I've noticed a trend, and she's a longtime viewer of the morning show.
Okay.
I've noticed a trend when one of the news anchors takes time off, like a week or several days. It seems like the other anchor then follows with a series of days off right afterwards. Is this part of the contract, or is doing the news solo that much of an effort that it requires time to rest?
I think
It's
yes.
almost like a tit for tat situation.
No, this is a great question.
Yeah.
This is just, I love how people
I
observe
know, like so.
everything we do so closely.
That's what I said. I don't think I noticed this.
So
but
Shawn,
the
it doesn't
viewers-
apply to him. It doesn't apply to me, but it does apply to you two. So do you do this?
No.
Maybe it's happened a couple times, but we don't specifically do
It's
it.
not spite days
But,
off.
but put it this way.
You took off. Now I'm taking off.
We do aim to not be off at the same time.
Yeah.
So like this summer, I think Mindy's going to be off a week in July. I think I'm going to take off the week before.
No,
See, there
that's
you go.
not okay. You cannot do that.
But so we
let's
have to
notice
time
that.
out our vacation so we're not overlapping. We all want to take off similar times of the year. So I think that happens. There's no, I don't need to rest after a week. Although it is a
is
lot.
really tiring,
It is
though.
tiring, but I don't take off for that, and I don't think she does
No.
either. It just
But
happens
here's
to
an
be that way.
example of what she's saying. It's going to happen in June or July, you said, right?
Yes.
You're going to be
Yeah,
off
he's
and
going to
she's gonna
take
be
off, and then exactly.
So from a viewer's point of view, they watch and there's one anchor there. Let's say it's Mindy. And then the next week, John, no Mindy. So it probably does
he's
stick out.
obviously taking a spite vacation.
I'm doing it just because of that.
Wait,
But
no,
it's
I'm
better.
taking
Yeah,
a
No,
spite
it's
maybe
better
vacation.
though in your situation because after doing it solo, then you have a vacation.
True.
to look
That's
forward
true,
to.
and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
come
yeah, yeah.
back
You
to
come back
so,
from a vacation to solo, so it's worse for you.
yeah.
And let's be honest, there's a lot of people that criticize us. Oh, you're always off. We all four of us in this room have been at WNEP for a long time. We get a lot of vacation, and three of us are in a very visible role, so people notice when we take off.
Right.
But we're just fortunate we've been here long enough that we've built up a lot of time off.
We earned it, baby. We earned
And
it.
so
I
we're
love
going to
it
take
when,
it.
when Joe's always explaining it on the air. He's
I
like,
don't explain
You
it.
do?
Here's why. I don't explain it because I'm defensive.
Oh, okay.
I think the viewers, like a friend, need to know what's going on. That's the only reason I do it, and that's the truth.
Okay.
It's not guilt or anything.
Okay.
I
And the
just
other
think
thing-
they need to be explained why.
I agree. And the other thing is, because I get it, people be like, oh my gosh, you're always
You're
off.
always off.
But the other thing is, too, we're one of the few businesses I've come to learn that our time off is use it or lose it. So if we don't use it during this calendar year, it's gone. I have friends, they're like, oh, I've carried over. I have like 30 weeks of vacation built up for whenever I retire.
Any state job, any
Because they can
government job.
carry over all this
teachers,
time off.
yeah.
On
you're building
January
up.
1st, if we didn't take that time off,
gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, my
So-
mom was a teacher, and she had all this time, and so I think they paid her for it.
And then a lot of
when
these
she
teachers
retired.
retire early because they
Right.
have all these days accumulated.
We can't do that.
You
Yeah.
got to burn them, baby.
Burn them.
So that's why it seems that way. And I think the three of us really like to have time off in the summer when the weather's
Yes.
nice. So that's
And
I
the
think
fall.
people notice,
And sometimes the winter.
wow, you're always off.
They're always off.
Whereas in January, February, March, we're mostly here.
Well,
Although
he took a week off.
I did take a week off.
Yeah,
in
you
March.
did too. All right. there
And
you
even
go.
around the holidays, if it's Christmas, do you take off the week before Christmas or after? And it's going to be one of you doing that.
Yeah.
One of you's going to work the
We
week before.
space it out.
So yeah, it seems
Yes.
like that around holidays too.
Very
Coincidence.
observant.
It's a
Be-
quinkydink.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, you're up.
I'm up. All right. I'm going for the strips since I saw a couple of those in here or felt a couple of those. Okay, it's not a strip. Well, it's kind of a strip. The strips are the old ones.
We'll
we
call
gotta
this a
get these
scrap.
in. You scrap. Dear Joe, John, Mindy, and Claire.
So this one dates back a while.
I love it.
Hello,
I'll be
my
playing
name
the
is
part of
Tim from
Claire.
Stroudsburg, and I watch you guys every morning. Thank you for being informative on both TV and on the podcast. As a viewer, it's clear to see everyone likes animals, but if all the animals were the same size, it's ripped off.
Oh,
Wait a minute,
no.
What? I don't know where to. I'm gonna look in there for this one.
If all the animals were the
the
same
size.
size.
What?
What? Look at that
Oh,
baby.
no, the
I gotta find it. I
suspense.
gotta find
That is
All
so
of the-
funny.
it probably was going to be really good,
What
too.
would it be? I know. If all the animals were the same size, where's the
Then what?
where's the
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
No.
Not knowing this
looking, what?
question.
It wouldn't have been that.
No, it's gone.
No.
It's gone, Joe.
While you guys pick another question, I'm going to keep looking. It's
We need to
Well, do
know
you
what
wanna
to
pick
do with the
another
same
one?
size animals.
Do you wanna pick another
animals
one?
were the same size. What?
I'm gonna guess what.
Oh, here's another one that's ripped up, so we better not pick this
That's
one
why I thought
either.
it was the other end of that one. All right.
Oh, that's so funny. Are you
This
sure you
one
don't wanna
just
pick a different
starts
one?
at let's time travel back to your college days.
That's-
and then it rips up. That could have been a good one too.
All right. Wow.
We have to make this like a puzzle.
We're going to
and
get
piece
the
them
end
all
of
back
that thing.
together.
I'm going to look.
All
I'm
right.
going to just feel in here while Mindy does that next question. What?
Hum.
What?
Oh my gosh, this is kind of funny. Oh my. All right, Brian. He says, can I buy a subscription to the talkback messages that don't air? I'm willing to pay hundreds of dollars, maybe towards Go Joe. I'm sure it will be money well spent.
You missed John's look of terror at me.
I wonder if that would sell. So you get all these.
it would be
you think it would
huge.
call? You get all
Yes.
the talkback callers.
You get it all.
Just people-
unlimited access. Everything on Talkback 16. Here you go. But you have to pay.
That's, honestly, like, you'd pay for like those, those adult channels or whatever. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
right,
Like
so it's a-
Showtime or whatever.
Yeah,
An
like
inside view at what
subscription,
everybody's.
yeah. Paywall.
Yeah.
Who here? Did you ever work the phones? Any of you two?
I
He
have.
I
has.
thought you had. Okay,
I've
so
screened the calls.
give people some insight on a typical day. How many talkback calls do we air on any newscast? Three
we
or
may
four?
air probably 4 or 5.
How
maybe
many do we
6.
get?
200?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
On a typical day.
Typical day, maybe a little bit less than that. On
Oh
a Monday, it
my
might be
God.
like 300, 400.
No. I never knew that. I thought maybe 10, 15.
So they're definitely, I can say this because I've screened the calls. It would be very entertaining for the viewers to be able to hear everything that comes in. There'd be like almost 30% to maybe 40% that just would not be entertaining at all. It's just
Okay.
craziness, that's not even funny.
Okay, unhingedness?
Almost unhinged, yeah. Because you almost, when you screen the calls, you get to know the breadth of the people that call every single day and just make no sense. And you hear that breath and you hit delete. You don't even listen to what they say. Now we have a new system that you can even go in and see the phone number and just not listen to those.
Oh, so if it's a repeated person who calls every day and they just are nasty, let's not even look at them.
But I always used to say, I didn't think about the paywall talkback, but I always used to say that on our WNEP2 and maybe on Roku, we could have talkback after dark. And that'd be the uncensored talkback calls, because that's the other thing is you got a big chunk of them that just can't go on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people would find them very interesting.
So the ones that get on, right? Are they a good sampling, or are most calls vile or?
No, I think it's a good sampling.
It's a good sampling. It's a good representation.
Here's the thing about talkback that I think is the success of talkback is based on who's screening the calls and realizing how to do it the right way. Right. If you could just put a lot of this craziness on, and there'd be some laughs in the beginning, but then it would just be dumb.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's got to be.
You have to be able to get the variety of people talking about these different topics. And then the other thing, too, is if you let talkback, say we have a controversial story and we run a few calls on that, the guarantee is the next day, the response to that is going to come.
Gotcha. Right.
They're going to flood the lines, the people that disagree. You could let that go on for days and days, because every day there's a back and forth. The first part of talkback is rated. The calls are timed at 5:59. There's going to be 40 calls all about that issue, back and forth, back and forth. So you have to know when to end it too.
Oh yeah.
And then the other thing too, no politics.
No politics, because
it could just
Trump is this, Biden is that. That gets old.
It could be that all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so no politics.
So there's an art form to it.
Shawn.
And there's a lot of the calls that we air, they're specific to stories we've run, and I think that's part of why it does well too. It's people reacting to our local stories rather than like broad political issues that just kind of you hear about all the time outside of our newscast. This is
specific to what we're doing on the news, or the way we are covering it.
Right.
Do you think, Shawn, that we could have on this podcast a raw talkback session ever? Like, is that something you could have funneled in here?
I look at John because I don't know if he wants. No. I don't know if John wants me to mention.
We had a talkback feedback podcast.
We did.
Where we aired stuff that didn't air.
It was Talkback Extra.
Talkback Extra.
That was brief 4 or 5 years ago or something.
And we would find still usable.
And was it worth it? Do you think we can do this, or
it's work?
That was the only thing about it was I think it went away with COVID. Yeah, because it was labor intensive. You needed to have everyone here to make it technically work. It's a lot to screen all the calls.
We would create like an audio playlist, and I would play out.
But there could be potential to do it for a one-off.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah.
Mr. Curiosity, where we play the calls and then we respond to them.
That's a good idea.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, talkback is gold at this station, and the viewers love it. I have to describe an out-of-body experience I had with talkback. When I used to be the one introducing it every day. For years, I introduced it and may or may not have made comments at the end of it. So Rennie and I have the kids. We're driving back from Western Pennsylvania visiting my parents. We happen to stop at a bar restaurant, middle of Central PA, right at talkback time. And we walk in. The bar is packed. Every TV is on Newswatch 16. The audio's not even on. Everyone's sitting around the bar talking, drinking. At like 30 seconds before talkback, the bartender doesn't even look at the TV, grabs the remote, turn the volume all the way up, sets the remote down, and everyone looks at the TV to watch talkback.
No.
Reddy and I are standing behind all this happening. It's like, oh my gosh. This is what happens every day in this bar at Talkback 16.
So it's a focal point.
And then right after, just mute again, and everyone goes back.
And everyone back to their.
I'm sure they watched the beginning of the 6.
Well, it's on. It's on. It's got the closed captioning, but not the audio.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is what happened. Talkback is like part of the culture of Northeastern PA.
And I think that's part of the goal to Talkback too, is the words wouldn't have the same impact as hearing the people speak
Oh
themselves.
no, you have
The words wouldn't work at all.
Yeah,
If
the
you were to
voices
just
are
transcribe
imperative.
it would not be the
You
same.
can't.
Well, that's a good
transcribe.
point. When I did talkback and I would introduce it, I would often look through the script of what was coming, but not hear it.
And it
And there
doesn't
were a
have any
couple
impact.
times the way the person said the last call, I lost it. Just the way they did it, I couldn't compose myself at the end.
Well, like the other day when she called you a snickerdoodle. That was so
yeah,
cute.
if you just read, and Joe is my little snickerdoodle.
Yeah, but the way
Yeah.
she
She
said,
is my
yeah.
little snickerdoodle.
So,
Yep.
good stuff.
Good stuff, talk back. All right. If all the Annas were the same size, what?
You still didn't
I
finish
need
that?
to know. Whose turn is it? Mindy, are you up
I just
now?
that
oh,
was
you already
mine.
picked
Oh,
one? Oh,
Talk
okay.
back was mine.
I need to know.
And I want to know the rest of, let's flash back to your college days.
That could be
Yeah.
it right there. We can all
Let's just
talk
flash
about
back.
that someday.
Do we really want to do that?
I'm proud of mine.
Okay.
No embarrassing moments.
All right.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
I watch 16 every morning. In caps, you always mention that you're going on a mountain bike ride. Why can't you just say a bike ride? I'm thinking it feels more macho to you. Am I
Oh.
right? Curious. Love you guys. And this is from
No.
Earl. This is from Earl.
Isn't that funny, Earl? Because how could I think of a good metaphor, an example? Because biking, if you're a biker, biking isn't biking. They're two totally. All right, grocery shopping. Would you just say, I'm going shopping? I think you'd go out of your way to say, I'm going grocery shopping.
I think so,
Because it's
yeah.
a specific
Whereas if you
thing.
say I'm just going shopping, oh, clothes or
Yeah. So when I say I'm going mountain biking, it's a whole different bike. It's a whole different time of the year. You can't road bike in the winter. So mountain biking is a specific discipline that I do with Jet a lot of times in the woods. Specific bike, specific gear, specific everything. So
And
it's-
you like how it sounds macho.
I can honestly look, and I'm looking at the three of you. I can honestly say I've never had that thought.
Oh,
like this
okay.
is going to sound macho if I say it.
Okay.
Well, I
No.
think what's funny is that he comes at it as a cycling expert.
Yeah,
So,
so
in
that-
your mind, that
that's
is
all
just
there is.
common
There is-
lingo.
yeah, that's common
the
lingo.
average person that doesn't ride a bike,
right,
they're
no.
all the same thing.
Right, he's saying
You're
he's
just
helping
going
me
for-
see this from a different perspective.
Yeah.
I would never think of what he's thinking. But when you see a road biker like the Gojo bike ride, that's a whole different thing. That's spandex. That's warm summer.
You don't wear
day.
spandex while you're mountain biking?
Sometimes no. It's
Really?
more, and I do, but a lot of times it's just covering up the mud.
Oh.
So you have to have long, baggy pants on, and you have to have proper gear and fenders on the back so you don't splash mud. It's a whole different thing.
And Jet obviously never could go with you on a road bike ride.
Never.
Right,
And
no.
a lot of people don't understand that too. Yeah, so he never goes on the road. They're two totally, it's like cross-country skiing versus maybe downhill skiing.
Yeah, two different things.
Oh.
Or food shopping, grocery shopping versus clothes shopping. So
Or
that's
shoe
also-
shopping.
Or shoe shopping. But sir, I have to admit, it does sound macho.
Now you're going to say it even more.
Now you will. Now you'll say it because it's not.
I'm going biking.
It's you,
I
Shawn.
think it's Shawn, yeah.
Hope I get the other half of something. This is complete.
I want the other half of this. What could
Hey,
this
might actually be a good question for me.
Ooh. Whoa. What do you mean by actually? Here we go.
My friend Bob still uses Netscape as an internet browser. He's stuck in the 90s.
Oh my
Can you
God.
help?
Oh my God.
That still
Sean,
exists.
this is perfect.
First
All right,
of all,
give us the background now.
I'm surprised Netscape is still a thing. If it is, I'm not even sure
I
it
was
is.
going to ask you,
but
is it
that-
still a thing?
I'll have to look. I don't know.
Net-
Well, do you guys
Netscape.
all remember the
Oh,
big blue ad?
yes.
I mean, that's all there
It was
Yes.
huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Can I help? Probably not.
The levels of help needed here are pretty significant.
so do you know if it's still out there?
I don't know. I mean, I can look and see if Netscape.
Wow,
browser-
is Netscape?
I am guessing that WNEP's browser doesn't work on Netscape.
Yeah, I would say he probably doesn't check out our website
So
much. if he's
Netscape, let's
using-
go back. This has got to be mid-late 90s, right? When did Google take over in Chrome? And-
So Netscape
think-
was our first browser,
Yeah, I
right?
think it had
And
to
that's
be
the
the
first one I
first one.
remember.
yeah.
Netscape Navigator
No,
is
so-
discontinued.
So this must be an old question.
But he may just have it on his
2003.
computer.
2003 it was gone?
Yep.
It could be discontinued, but he still has it running on his computer, I
never
guess, if
thought
it's
about that, right? If you
downloaded.
still have it, it's still
If it's an old
But would it
or
work?
old desktop.
Netscape.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Netscape. So sorry. Apparently, he doesn't go on the internet much if he has Netscape.
That's so funny.
Well, Shawn, while we're on the subject, what's your browser? What's your preferable browser?
I mean,
you a Chrome guy?
Not to promote it, but I'd say I probably primarily use Chrome.
Yeah. Do you remember for a while?
Firefox.
I was going to say, remember for a while
that
Firefox?
kind of blew up a little bit. Internet Explorer kind of went away, and now it's
funny.
Edge.
What do you think of DuckDuckGo?
I was going to suggest that too. I mean, a lot of people who
Is that
are
one
more
really
interested,
better for privacy? That's what I
people
wonder.
who are more interested in privacy.
Mindy, you weirdo. I didn't know this.
Yeah,
You didn't know about DuckDuckGo?
No, I mean, I heard it, but I never thought it was a privacy
Yeah,
browser.
the difference. Yeah, that's really the
It's
big
supposed
difference.
to be.
DuckDuckGo, in theory, doesn't keep like your history, things
I
like
see.
that. So any of that kind of
Geez,
stuff
I'm gonna
doesn't
try that
get
out
stored. So,
It's good to use at work. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joshing.
yeah, DuckDuckGo would be if you have concerns about privacy, that might be a good option for a browser.
There's a joke out there, a meme, I think I saw it somewhere, where there's a guy in his deathbed and he's dying, and his friends are coming over. These are all males for some reason. And they're like, his last words were, "Could you clear my internet? Is there anything we can do for you, Fred? Clear my browsing history.
That's awesome.
Don't let my wife see my browsing history." And then he's dead.
And then he's dead.
I wonder if the guy that still has Netscape is using Napster on there too.
Napster.
MySpace.
I want to see the actual computer that's running Netscape. It's the old Packard Bell tower.
Maybe, yes.
Napster. So
I
that's the
remember when
free
everybody
download.
used
People
Napster,
PC.
and then people got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
remember that? They actually sued a few as a
I do remember because
example.
I was in college when Napster was big, and I remember thinking, is this really going to work? That we can just get free music
Yes.
all the time? It didn't work.
It didn't work.
That didn't
worked
last.
for a while.
It worked for a while,
Yeah.
but
Then it got
obviously
shut down.
the crackdown
Yeah.
was coming. Yeah.
The crackdown. And then I had a distributor called MP3 Panda. Do you guys ever hear of that? You would
familiar.
download like songs from China, this company, any band, and it was like a penny a song. So you're paying for it, but it was really cheap. So they were doing something
Is this the
illegal.
precursor to TikTok? Or
This is no.
It's from China?
You're downloading music.
Yeah,
but
no,
you're
I'm just
paying
kidding.
For it, but it was
Well,
ridiculously
and that was kind
cheap.
of Apple kind of changed that whole thing with digital downloads, and you
Yeah.
could, instead of having to buy the whole album, you could buy just a song.
Just
like
a
that
song.
was
Yeah.
Apple changed that whole concept,
Exactly.
which
Thus iTunes.
good or
and-
bad for the music industry can be debated, but I mean they were the ones who initiated the kind of the just buy the one song, why buy the whole album?
Yeah.
Which is really a shame because there were always songs on the album that I
It's
ended up
so
liking
true.
that I did
Well,
not know.
And you have artists who are like, I created the album as a thing. It's meant to be consumed as
Yes,
a
like a
whole,
package, like an
yeah,
art form.
Right.
It's a whole. It's like a meal. You don't just eat
Yeah.
potatoes.
I've
you
tried
take
to
it all in.
explain to my kids how sometimes there are songs that I listen to and then I hear the next song in the album after that song is done
Oh,
in my
yeah,
head.
because it's a part of a package.
Because that's the way it should be. And I listened to that album over and over again when I was young. So
Yeah,
it's
you
weird.
think of that. All those songs that we liked that didn't get big on the radio or things like that just because you were listening to the album and really liked it, doesn't happen as much anymore.
No.
If you're just getting the songs. Now, of course, like my daughter's listening to every single Taylor Swift song that comes out ever. So there's that.
Overrated.
We won't get into all that.
Yeah, I don't know if we should have a Swiftie conversation here.
I have to leave. This is gonna be the last question.
Are you
But I
serious?
want to find the end to this one. I'm looking.
Where
for
do
that-
you have to go?
I have to go teach at Marywood.
You think that's more important than podcasting?
This might be the end of it. This. Oh, it is! Oh my God! This is a perfect way.
Way to finish it. Way to finish it.
So the question
found it.
again is, as a viewer, it's clear to see everyone likes animals. But if all the animals were the same size, look, you guys.
That's where we left
What
off.
would be your favorite?
What one would win in a fight?
Oh, well,
That's
one would
actually
win in a
not too bad.
fight.
So
If-
every animal on the planet is now the same size. Who's gonna win in a fight? It could be a spider, the size of a grizzly bear,
yeah.
or a grizzly bear the size of
Interesting.
a spider. You see what they're saying?
Yeah, I didn't
Because then
take
you
the
could
venom
take
into
like a
consideration.
mosquito and make it.
As big as an elephant.
And what if it has malaria and then you die?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
I mean, I
complex.
guess whatever's most venomous in general would win. or whatever.
Or are we going by brute strength?
Sharpest claws.
Or whatever.
The weasel
fight
family is
strength.
vicious.
Whatever's more vicious.
Honey badger.
Like a weasel is really vicious, but small, so it can't do too much damage. But if everything's the same.
Everything's the same. Like a scorpion the size of a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Let's have these two fight.
And do we
Ooh.
establish what the same size is? Is the same
there's
size
no-
the size
there's
of a
no-
car?
that's the
or
thing.
the
Yeah,
size
there's
of an
no-
Are
ant?
they all little?
Are they all gigantic? What
Who would
size
win
are
in a
we?
fight if they were all the same size? That's
I can't
it.
believe you found the other half of that question.
Thank you. God bless the USA is what this person says.
Amen.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Keep the questions coming. Brownbag at WNEP.com. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Spread the word.
Curiosity. What are you so curious about? Everything, Mr. Curiosity.